Welcome to Algebra Chapter 10, Lesson 5. Today you're going to learn to factor quadratic equations in the form x squared plus bx plus c. What that means is in the form, say, x squared plus 2x minus 3. See how there is not a number in front of the x squared, there is in front of the 2, in front of the x, and there is a c value. When there's no number in front of the x squared, we assume that to be a 1. And this will be our a, this will be our b, and this will be our c, just like from before. They use this all the time when they're studying any type of curve, designs for any type of a curve, interest rates, arcs of bullets, rockets, footballs, video game design a lot. So today you're going to learn to factor a trinomial, and what you're doing when you're factoring a trinomial is you're getting it into this form. So x plus 3x minus 1, that's factoring it. And those numbers right there, if you solve it, see that's factored form right there, and if we solved it, we'd end up with x equals negative 3, x equals 1. We factor because that tells us, the roots, like this one there'd be one at 1, there'd be one at negative 3. That tells us the roots of the trinomial if we were going to graph the parabola. Those would be our roots. So instead of graphing, we're going to do it algebraically by factoring. So how do we do it? Now you should have done those sum and product puzzles, and that is exactly how we factor. So what I do is I draw a big X like those sum and product puzzles. I put the C up here. It's actually A times C up here, but A is always 1 in the ones we're going to do. And I put the B down here. So A times C, I assume it's a 1. 1 times 8 is 8. That goes up here. And then the B goes down to the bottom. So this would be 6. And now I'm looking for two factors that will multiply together equal 8, and when added together equals 6. So if I look at this and think about it, I know that 4 times 2 equals 8. And I know that 4 plus 2 equals 6. So my factored form is x plus 4, x plus 2. And that is factored, and those are my roots if I graph that parabola. Now if I want to find the roots, or find the x-intercepts, or find the zeros, all three of those mean the same thing, I would set each piece equal to 0. So I would take x plus 4 and set it equal to 0. And then I would take x plus 2 and set it equal to 0. And I would solve them, just like regular equation. Subtract 4 on each side, and x equals negative 4. This one I would subtract 2 on both sides, and x equals negative 2. So those would be my roots. So x equals negative 4, x equals negative 2. So when you're doing your homework, check and see if it asks you to factor it. If they want you to factor it, this is the answer they want. They want it in this form. If they ask you to solve it, or find the roots, or find the zeros, they want it in this form.